Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is Strategic.
Can't. Welcome to another episode of Lunch and Learn. I'm Coach Carvel Bailey. I am your host. I got my Instagram people over here. I got my Facebook and my YouTube people over here. Hey, we all in the same room. We all rocking together. I want to welcome y'all, as my man Sean Carter said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So let's break down, right? Let's break down first and foremost. Let me know what city and state that you checking in from on IG, on YouTube, on Facebook. Let me know what city and state you're checking in from. And so in the news, right, we all know in the news has been a long thing going on with the young lady that we're going to speak about today, Brittney Griner. I've been following Brittney Griner probably since her senior year in high school, going into Baylor, playing at Baylor, win the national championship, like player of the year, dunking her junior year, all those things. Her getting drafted, number one, doing right. She's had some amazing feats. Now she's in the news for a whole different reason, right? And so I'm not on here to debate if she was right or wrong, right? I'm not here to criticize her. What I'm here to do is to use this as a teachable moment to be able to help you as the parent and or coaches that's listening to be able to help you all, help your athletes learn from this. Because one thing that all great coaches do is they can take anything and make it a teachable moment, right? You see, I got my cut up hoodie on today. Shouts out to my man Lou Adams. I think this is an Under Armour hoodie from back in the day, but I just got done working out. And I said, let me get on here and let's have this dialogue. Let's have this conversation. Let me give you all some points to be able to help your athletes. So Brittney Griner was sentenced to 9 years, right? Actually 9.5 years. It's actually 9.5 years of jail, right? She was sentenced to 9.5 years, but the time that she served so far, the judge has taken that off. So roughly about 9 years for traveling. So she plays for the Phoenix Sun, Phoenix Mercury, right? I believe that's the name of it, WNBA. She also, during the off season, a lot of WNBA players, a lot of women players go overseas to play because before WNBA, right? Let's test the age of this group. Who remembers the Houston Comets when they won like 3-4 championships in a row, right? If you remember the Houston Comets with Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, right? Just drop a 1 in the chat, right? I want to check the temperature of this audience today. Check the temperature. So if you remember, right, Houston women's basketball team when the WNBA first arrived and first popped on the scene. But before then, players like Cynthia Cooper. Okay, Carl King said that he definitely remembers. So players like Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, all those other players, they would go overseas to play basketball because there was no professional basketball league in the U.S. So after they got done with college, right? If you ever seen the movie Love and Basketball, what happened? She went overseas, right? After she left USC, she went overseas. That was common practice for women back in the day, right? Mel Davis, how you doing, my brother? How you doing? They were overseas. And so women went overseas to be able to make money and play basketball professionally because there weren't any opportunities in the U.S. for women. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother day to talk about. But a lot of WNBA players, since they play in the summertime, they go overseas still to get paid and to play basketball. And like they come in the summer and play WNBA. Well, let's change it to the men's side for a minute, and then I'm going to get into my point. A lot of professional men's basketball players opted, right? So if any of you all, again, history, if any of you all know a guy named Rashad Griffith, right? Rashad Griffith played for King High School. They were #1 in the nation in high school. Him and Thomas Hamilton, they were great, played for the late, great Sonny Cox, Landon Sonny Cox. Rashad Griffith played for Wisconsin, played with the great Michael Finley, the great Tracy Webster. And they had it right. This is when the Big Ten was amazing. Rashad Griffith had an opportunity to go to the NBA. I remember when I was at UIC, I remember asking Rashad Griffith, because we both graduated in '93. But I remember Rashad Griffith coming home one time, and we were down on Roosevelt, a place called Maxwell Street. And I asked Rashad, me and a couple basketball players, because they used to come, and he and Randy Brown and Pete Myers would come to UIC and play basketball. And we asked Rashad, we said, man, like, why don't you just come to the NBA? He said, well, the money he was making overseas held in comparison to what he was making, would make in the NBA. We like, oh, you just educated us, Dad. He like, and it's tax-free, right? The women have the same thing. So Brittney Griner was playing for this Russian team, has played for this Russian team for many, 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 many years, right? We got Coach Swoops in the building. Coach Swoops, man, doing some great work. I appreciate you, my brother. Listen, it's enough people out here for us all to help, right? Keep doing great work. Keep doing great work, my brother. Keep doing great work. At some point, I'm going to get you on Life in Basketball. We're going to have this interview. And at some point, we're going to connect and we're going to collaborate and do something together, right? Wise man told me a long time ago, a wise man said, instead of compete, collaborate, right? He said 1 + 1 is 2. 1 and 1 makes 11. Does that make sense, right? 1 + 1 is 2 if we're competing. But 1 and 1 makes 11. I think that was Tracy Webster's number, matter of fact, in Wisconsin. Anyway, so Brittney Griner went overseas. She got caught with a vape pen, right? With, weed oil, marijuana oil, THC oil. And Coach Fletcher, how you doing? So what happened was now she is detained. She is arrested. She is held in custody. She's been there for a while. She was sentenced to 9 years in jail. These are my teachable moments from this whole Brittney Griner situation. And this is what I want athletes to understand when it comes to being a collegiate athlete, being a professional athlete, and frankly, just being a citizen in this world. So the first point that I took from this is athletes must know the rules. You can't really play the game if you don't know the rules. You can't shoot a three-pointer and holler touchdown. Does that make sense? Right? When you know the rules, you know how to move about, right? You know me. Y'all know me. I always got my notes. But when you know the rules, you know how to move about. Wars, most people that have won wars dating right history, most people that have won wars, they understand the terrain. They understand the landscape. Here in Chicago, we have some places, right? It's a place in the south suburbs called Park Forest. If you don't know the terrain, you'll get lost. There's also a housing community in the south side of Chicago, and that's called All Girl Gardens. If you don't know your way around All Girl Gardens, you mess around and won't get out. So wars are won by people that know the terrain. That's why most people start up high and wars to come down, because they can see what's coming. It's the same way with basketball and life. You have to know the rules. You have to know the rules, and then understand the rules so that you can be as successful as possible, as productive as possible by knowing the rules. By knowing the rules, you also understand the consequences of not following those rules. So as a basketball coach, let's make this practical. If my players are running sprints and they miss a line, I'm gonna let them finish that sprint. And then we're gonna run it over. Matter of fact, if they miss a line, we're gonna start from the beginning. So let's just say, hypothetically, right? True story. As a head college basketball coach, we would start our players off the very first day and they would run 20 suicides in 20 minutes. I don't care how long it takes you, it can take you 59 seconds, but when the clock hits 0, you got to take off of that second suicide. Well, if we got all the way down 17 minutes and now it's 3 minutes, but somebody missed a line, we starting back at 20. So the sophomores, right, junior college, the sophomores would get the freshmen to understand and the transfers to understand, because the transfer portal didn't just start. Let me tell you, the transfer portal didn't just start. It's been going on for a long time. But the people that understood the culture, they would help the newcomers with the rules. If you don't know the rules, you won't be as productive. That's point number one. You must know the rules, and then by knowing the rules, you'll understand the byproduct of not following those rules. Does that make sense? So if I'm working with an athlete and we're going over offense, if I'm giving you strategies to help you offensively, that should also help you defensively, because now you know what an offensive person can or cannot do. If I'm helping you something defensively, that should then help you offensively, because now you know as a defender what you're looking to stop. So now you know how to counter that. Does that make sense? Right? If I'm making sense to somebody, just drop a yes in the comments. If that makes sense, just drop a yes in the comments. All right, Nate Swoop say, yep, appreciate it. Yep, you definitely understand. We will collaborate. We definitely will make that happen. But if you understand that, you must know the rules. I'm not sure if Brittney Griner understood the rules of the vape pen, right? In a lot of places here in the United States, marijuana is legal now. A lot of people that went to jail, a lot of family members, a lot of friends that we all know have went to jail for an extensive amount of time for marijuana. And now it's legal in a lot of states. But did she know the rules in Russia? Does that make sense? And then did she know that they're harsh on cracking down on those things, right? I've had buddies that went to Finland, Sweden, Europe, all other places, and there are a lot of countries that are they come down very, very heavy on people that get caught with drugs, right? Weed, cocaine, whatever it may be, heroin. And in every country, a different drug is highlighted bigger than another one. Does that make sense? So number one is understand the rules. Number two, know what you're signing. So she then stated that she signed the document, but she didn't really understand what it was that she was signing. Let me lean in and say this to my parents. When it's time for your athlete to sign an NLI, a national letter of intent, when it's time for them to sign a grant and aid form, right? I'm not sure if you all understand what these terms are, but when it's time for them to sign a national letter of intent, I intend to go here. When it's time for them to sign their grant and aid form, meaning the financial benefits that they're going to get from this university in exchange for their athletic ability. It's not just signing a scholarship. It's a national letter of intent, and then they have to sign a grant and aid form. That's how much money they're going to give you, because all scholarships ain't the same scholarship. So be mindful when people are on the internet, hey, they offered me, I got this, right? A coach can offer an athlete a book scholarship. Now it's just paying for their books. They can offer them just tuition. They can offer them just room and board. Yes, when you get to the Division I level, it kind of cover all. But all scholarships are not created equal. Please understand me. All scholarships are not created equal. Therefore, it's a grant and aid form to say, this is what we're giving you. All right. So you have to know what you're signing. Your athlete must know what they're signing. Even in school, when they're just signing something, right? People look at me all the time when they put something in front of my face and I have to sign it, and they expect like to pull it back real quick. And I'm like, hold on, like I at least got to skim it to see. But teachable moment, know what you're signing. Have complete clarity, ask questions. So does this mean this, right? All the times you may not have lawyers. You may not have people that can help, that's been through certain forms that can help you figure things out. Obviously, at Hoops Master University, right, we help our parents and our athletes through this process and through these things, obviously. But if you don't understand it, you must like read and have clarity for what you're signing. That's teachable moment number 2. So number 1, know the rules. Number 2, know what you're signing. Gael Chavez, how you doing today? What city and state you checking in from, Gael? Number 1, know the rules. Number 2, know what you're signing. Number 3, equity, right? It's a big word now. Equity is a huge word just throughout life. Equity, equitable opportunities. This is what I want to say about equity. Everybody's not treated the same. Everybody's not treated equal. Now, we're not going to turn this into a racial conversation, but my people, Black people, have not been treated equal for over 400 years. It's just reality. Women have not been treated equal. It's just a reality. So equality is only for certain people. So when your athlete is upset and say, hey, that coach got favorites, or even you as the parent, because I hear it all the time. The coach don't like my son. The coach has favorites, whatever. Everybody's not created equal. But even though they're not created equal, everybody should be treated fair. Does that make sense? Especially for the coaches that's out here that will listen to this. You can't treat every athlete equal, but you can treat them all fair. But equality and equity isn't the same for everybody. So with that equity, if it's people, if it's players, whatever it may be, everybody is not treated equitable. That's where Title IX came from. Again, that's another term. As a parent, you must understand if you have a high school athlete. What's Title IX? In Title IX, somebody, oh, well, that's just for women. Well, the rule, if the rules were, if a certain law, rule, requirement was put in for women, at some point it was on the basis of things that were happening for the men, or it has a ripple effect on the men. There are certain things that if men programs cannot necessarily put in place because they can't have the same thing equal to for the women. Title IX, equity. But it's not always the same. So people say, well, if she was an NBA player, that wouldn't have happened. People say, well, if she was white, that wouldn't have happened. Maybe if she was a man, maybe if she was a different race, right? If she wasn't in the United States or in Russia, maybe that wouldn't have happened. Only thing that we know is if she wouldn't have had that item in her possession, it probably wouldn't have. Now we have a political game being played, and we have an athlete at the height of that political game. Just to give you all a little bit of background on Brittney Griner, right? Brittney Griner grew up being bullied. Brittney and she talked about it, right? She talked about this before she went to college, before she went to Baylor. I think she played for Mulkey, right? Coach Mulkey. But she stated how she dealt with trauma. She stated how she dealt with depression because she would be bullied for her height. And then based on her sexual orientation, her sexual preference, she kept that in for the longest also. And she even thought, right, she said that she told Coach Mulkey when she first was interested in her, she told her sexual preference that I hope this won't have a bearing on me coming to Baylor. Because at that point, everything wasn't as open and out as it is now. But she was bullied in high school and in elementary school because of her height. So she's dealt with depression. She's dealt with trying to understand who she is as a person. She's dealt with frustration, disappointment. And so when people say, well, like, okay, she's making $200,000. Well, and we're not here to even get into that conversation because, again, teachable moments. But when you have a person that's constantly working on themselves, working to become greater, but there are still things that we all have in us and around us that we still working on. We all have some traumas. We all have some frustrations, some difficulties, challenges that we're all looking to get past from our childhood, high school, college. Now, that doesn't condone what she did. That's not what I'm saying. But the point that I'm making is let's learn from it to be able to help our athletes moving forward. Because if athletes don't understand the rules, let's say coach says curfew is at midnight and somebody get caught coming in at 1 o'clock. Understanding the rules, they also got to understand the consequences. That may be justification to have that coach send your athlete home. And you're like, well, they signed a contract. But your athlete broke it. You know why your athlete broke it? Because that contract is just not about basketball. Y'all didn't read the contract. So now that coach done flew your athlete out to North Carolina. First class, all that, look good. And guess what? Now when they send your athlete home, they're going to send them home on a bus. And that bus going to make about 8-9 stops. It's going to be the slowest, the longest bus ride back home. I'm not telling you things that I've heard. I'm telling you things that I know. Hell, I've sent athletes home. I had an athlete from Memphis, and I love him to this day. Talk to him all the time. And we probably could have won maybe a national championship had he played. But he came on campus a day late. And he came on campus a day late with another recruit. They both got sent back to Memphis. They weren't even allowed to like practice. Showed up day 2 and they in the circle with everybody else. I'm like, well, yeah. And it hurt me. But this individual calls me every time he's in the city. We talk all the time. Call me about his kids and playing. Because that love and that trust, and he learned something from me. He said all the time, Coach, man, I wish I wouldn't have been tricking off, been messing around, and would have got there on time. But I sent him and his buddy home because they showed up a day late, not understanding the rules and the consequences, and then not reading what you're signing, and then equity. Everybody's not treated equal. Those are the 3 rules that I want you to pound into your athlete's head. Now, the bonus is this. The NBA doesn't even test for marijuana. Colleges do. And it's random. If it's legal or not, colleges will still test for it, and it'll be random. Some high schools test for it. if an athlete, whatever their vice is, if they drink, if they get high, if they on PlayStation, Xbox all night, if they're addicted to their phone, whatever it may be, what is your athlete's goals? And once they understand their goals, it's their job to put their preferences under their goals. Again, I'm not condoning what Brittney Griner did or not, but she might have preferred to just hit a pipe one time and just chill, practice over whatever, and not a pipe, but hit a pen and chill, whatever, right? That might have been a preference. But if that preference is not necessarily connected to your goal, that preference has to go underneath your goal. A lot of times athletes put their preference on top of their goals. Like, hey, I want to go to this party, but you probably need to be in the gym. You probably need to be shooting free throws, but you want to go hang out. So now your preferences are ahead of your goals. Does that make sense? If your athlete really wants to be successful in life, not just on the court, but in life, they have to learn to put their preferences under their goals. I would prefer to go hang out, but I got a goal of winning a championship. Easy peasy. So I just wanted to come drop those three things, right? And that bonus to get your athletes to understand, put their preferences right under their goals. We went through a thing, right? I went through a thing 7 days, and I shared with you all the 7 top questions that I'm asked by parents and athletes all the time. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, right, send me an inbox, and I'll see how we can get all 7 days to you, all 7 questions to you. But what we're doing tomorrow at 10 a.m. is we're doing a live Q&A. A live Q&A at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Central Standard Time. Live Q&A, Central Standard Time. I will drop the link in the comments, right? Actually, I'm going to put it up here right now. I'm going to drop the link in the comments. It is crazy dog just going crazy. I'm going to put the link in the comments. Make sure that you go register. Make sure that you go register to get the actual link, right? You must register to get the link. My IG people, right, is bit.ly. I'm going to see if I can put it in for y'all real quick. But you must register. You must register in order to get the link to our special masterclass / live Q&A, right? So I will be taking questions. Again, one of the reasons why you register is because questions will be sent in before the actual event. All right. So you want to make sure that you go to bit.ly/B2BSD back to school, right? About 30 minutes. I'm going to give you all some great information that's going to be helpful for you and your athlete. Some great information for you and your athlete. Now I'm going to do a 30-minute Q&A, right? Make sure that you are registered for this Q&A. Steve Alexander, Hall of Fame official. Hall of Fame official. How you doing, my brother? I need to call you. I was supposed to call you last week. It slipped my mind. I'm going to call you sometime today, Steve. I'm going to call you sometime today. I got a question to ask you. So we just talking about some things, right? Teachable moments. Everything's a teachable moment with this Brittney Griner thing, right? Teachable moment. Three things that I want parents to take back to their athletes, Steve, right? And as an official, you understand, but now you're a coach, right? So you definitely get it. But those 3 things were athletes must know the rules, right? Athletes must know the rules so that they can then know how to navigate. If they don't know the rules, they're not going to know how to navigate. The second thing is they must know what they're signing. If they're signing things away, Brittney Griner said she didn't know what she was signing. But if you're signing things and not paying attention, it can hurt you, right? The third thing is equity. People talk about equity, equitable opportunities, but everybody's not treated equal. Everybody's not, right? Everybody may be created equal, but everybody's not treated equal. So know the rules. Your athlete must know the rules, right? There's no way that they can be great on defense if they don't understand the rules. I used to have officials come in before the season and help my athlete with the new rules. So guess what? We were playing at an unfair advantage because I understood what the officials were looking for. We understood what the officials were looking for. So we understood how to use that as our unfair advantage. We understood the rules and we took advantage of it. But we also understood the consequences if we didn't abide by those rules. So knowing the rules is number one. Number two, knowing what you're signing is huge when it comes to documents. When it comes to documents, right? Signing documents, your athlete must know what they're signing. Looking to get scholarships, and they must know what they're signing. The third thing is equity. Everybody's not created equal. And then the bonus, right? If these are your preferences and these are your goals, right? I got a goal of winning a championship, but I prefer to go to this party. Your preferences got to go underneath your goals, or you'll never reach your goals. Your athlete will never reach them. All right? Does that make sense? Again, don't forget to register. Don't forget to register for this live Q&A that we're doing. We're only taking a certain amount of people, right? So you want to get registered. You want to get in. All right. Now, before I get out of here, right, I want y'all to shout your athlete out, right? Name, grade, city, position, right? Anybody on IG as well, YouTube, watching the replay, shout your athlete out, right? Let's get your athlete to being familiar with their names being in a public setting, right? Because unfortunately, yes, someone like Brittney Griner has seen her name since high school, but I would rather athletes see their name in a good light than in a bad light. Does that make sense? Right? So shout your athlete out. Shout your athlete out, definitely. Swoop say the athlete I want to shout out is Troy Bowie, Mount Carmel High School, 1993. Okay. I'll take that. So again, this is Coach Bailey. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm not gonna be before y'all long because again, I just got done working out and it is Friday. But I wanted to come on here and just like bless y'all with those 3 points plus that bonus. Hopefully, it will help your athlete sometime along the way. All right, you got a few hours to register for our special Q&A tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and that is about it. Right, that's all I got for y'all. Continue to stay blessed. Right, continue to stay safe. Continue to keep a positive mindset, positive attitude. And listen, if you haven't had a chance, if you have not, I don't know where you've been, but if you haven't had a chance to check out my free case study video, right? If you haven't had a chance to check that out, then you probably want to go check that out, right? Because it's going to give you this free case study video, right? I talk about the 3 things, right? So I talk about the 3 secrets that I use to be able to help athletes become more recruitment ready, right? 3 secrets that I use to help athletes become more recruitment ready. So you definitely want to go and check that out at BeTheRightRecruit.com, right? Go check that out at BeTheRightRecruit.com. 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 Go check that out, BeTheRightRecruit.com, and get you some extra knowledge. All right, Coach Carvel Bailey. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later. Peace.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Bless the Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Bless the Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Bless the Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Bless the ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Bless the ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Bless the ball.
Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Bless the ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Bless the ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Bless the ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is Strategic.